At either side of the massive humanoid shell, 2 staircases led up to the shadows in the back of the giant room, and they all headed up the one to the left. As they reached the top, they found a locked metal door with multiple bolts and bars around the exterior. Whatever was on the other side was the most protected thing they'd seen so far. Hayden noticed a keypad on the side of the door, and got the idea to use Dr. Joseph Burns' ID card he and Popa had found earlier. To their surprise, it worked. The bars slid into holes on the wall and the latches unfastened themselves, bringing the door to a slow sliding open. When they walked inside, they found a room smaller than the one they'd come from, but still large compared to most. There was a large window to the left that overlooked the space they were just in, and the imprisoned god they had just found. Covering the remaining walls were countless buttons, wires, switches, and keyboards. Upon further inspection, this room controlled security and infrastructure for the entire wellness containment facility. This meant that if the party could find the right button or wire, they could not only free the god they came here for, but they could also free their new friend Burakiel who sent them here. As they began to scour the area for the right button to press, a door at the opposite wall from the window slid open, and a voice echoed throughout the room. Well, 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 if it isn't the 3 blind mice who've been running around my walls. As a figure calmly walked into the room. How did you find this place? He asked, and as he stepped into the light they saw that his arms and legs were made from metal and wires, a cyborg. He was wearing black and studded armor reminiscent of riot control, but customized like a super soldier. We fell through a portal in the sky to fuck your shit up, responded Popa, who was now preparing for a fight alongside Hayden and Jace. That's not possible. Transportation to and from this facility has been disabled unless monitored by the Wellness Foundation, he retorted. Real G's move in silence like lasagna, quoted Hayden. Can we just kill him already? Asked Jace, already in a readied stance, and before they could lunge at him, something happened behind their target. 6 circles appeared on the ground behind the party, opening to reveal dimension doors as 6 identical figures rose from the openings. They all had the same porcelain white masks melded into the skin of their necks, permanently attached. They wore the same white robes with identical flowing heads of silver hair, and they were all chanting in a language the party didn't recognize. Oh, you've upset the shareholders, growled the cyborg, and spells began to erupt around them. Hayden, Jace, and Popa dodged and weaved through magical beams and explosions surrounding them, with their weapons drawn. They managed to sneak in a few attacks through the haze, but became overwhelmed as they were sandwiched in between the masked figures and the cyborg. In a fluster, Jace dove towards the wall and began to climb up, pressing random buttons and switches along the way, hoping to find the correct god-freeing option. On the ground, Hayden and Popa tried their best to fend off the enemies while pressing buttons themselves when they could. It was utter chaos, and the party was severely outnumbered. They began to lose hope. Not only was the fight 3 against 7, but the 7 were far more powerful than the 3 to begin with, and the party thought they were about to take their last attacks before their demise. Jace kept pressing buttons and flipping switches, and somewhere along the way they must have hit one of the correct options, because there was an explosion from the door in which they entered. An explosion of divine and celestial energy. You could basically hear the harp and chorus. It was Burakiel. There was hope.